Hello, everyone. I hope you are enjoying good health as we are enjoying good health.
Not the weather though, it's really hot. It's getting really hot, and it's
Well,
getting on my nerves
This,
personally.
this is the second day that we are into it, but it's okay. We have to deal with it, okay?
Wait.
If you are the one who is sweating while writing, so worry not. If you're sweating because of the weather, well, that's a separate story. But if you are sweating because someone has asked you to write an application or a basic essay or maybe a draft or maybe a small article and you are sweating literally, not literally, figuratively,
Or literally.
or literally too.
You never know.
So we are the people who are helping you with that, and there is something coming your way. If you could just watch
You
it.
should have done that, it's going to make its own way out, We're actually going to talk about, English.
Oh, right.
Writing.
Great, and you will write
Basically
like
writing in English.
such British people, right?
See, I was just going to show you this, we have this thing hanging around.
The new
all
tribe.
day,
Can I take care of it?
Of course.
All right.
I wish I could, put it around my neck.
No, please.
Just to make it a bit more, I don't know, fancy.
Into it.
Yeah, but no, I don't think it'll work.
Okay, let's
Anyway,
put it
I'd
here.
probably look like an English witch.
It stays. Oh, okay.
No offense to witches.
Not at all.
Yeah.
They are watching us. You see, they're my regular subscribers.
You never know.
The witches, yeah.
Interesting.
No offense to the witches, basically. Again.
Cool.
All right, whichever works. Sir, please, over to you.
All right, people. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about writing skills.
Yeah, we are.
And
And
we
we
have
are
some
not
tips.
talking about the writing you had been listening so far. This is going to be a very technical in terms of the people who are writing for the very first time, and very basic for the people and easy for the people who think that people make them more confused in writing. So it's going to be super easy, super advanced, and super interesting.
So let's begin.
Claiming big, right?
Indeed. So let's
Okay.
see if they like it. Because
All right.
At the end of the day, it's up to them, to give us the feedback.
The thumbs
right?
up they give.
Exactly. So anyway, let's talk about whatever comes into mind, when you talk about writing, basically, as a skill. So one of the things, that I'll start.
You do, sir.
All right.
All yours.
So one of the basic things, that is ignored almost everywhere you go, whichever institute you go to, there are very few people who actually talk about this thing, is basically the difference between your productive and receptive skills.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Since you have 4 skills in total, as
Yeah.
you know, since he's a linguist himself.
Let me name
You
them.
have-
We have speaking,
Uh-huh.
we have listening, we
Uh-huh.
have reading, and we have writing.
Exactly.
Can you just differentiate the receptive and productive?
The former 2 of the 4
Oh, yeah.
are basically receptive skills, and the latter are your productive skills. All right.
I don't know that.
All right.
I said speaking and writing in the beginning.
No, speaking and reading, basically. That's what you
Okay.
mentioned. Yeah.
What about I say the first and the third? That was the productive one.
Okay, let's just rephrase the whole thing, all right?
Okay.
Speaking and writing are your productive skills.
Yes.
And as far as your receptive skills are concerned, your reading and listening fall under that category.
Yeah, in which
So-
it requires some reception. You receive something, the other one you produce something, just for giving it.
Exactly, and the tragedy is that every single learner, whoever we actually come across, they just want to be masters of language within months.
Oh,
There is no shortcut, first of all. I'm extremely sorry, that's the bad news. But then again, going a bit technical now, when it comes to your productive skills, people always want to be either good writers
Yeah.
or good speakers right away. Right?
True.
That is the inspiration, basically, or the aspiration, basically.
That's how they show off their linguistic abilities.
Probably. But what they don't want to do, or they don't realize, is that without making sure that your receptive skills are on point, you cannot grow your productive skills.
I
What do you
am
think?
with you, sir.
Right?
So basically,
So-
you are giving the first tip.
Exactly. So the point is, focus on your receptive skills. And to be particular, to be specific, your reading skills, because it directly affects your writing skills. Whatever you read, you tend to reproduce certain shades of it when you write yourself. All right?
True,
So
true,
my
true. Yeah.
first tip, and something very technical for novice or experienced writers, both would be to read.
To read.
The more you read,
And
the more
read.
you get exposed to good literature, quality literature, of your own choosing, of course. But then eventually, it kind of flows into this bucket that is writing skills.
Point taken, sir. Thank you very much. You were so generous in giving your very first
Sorry.
tip over here.
My pleasure.
No problem, sir. Okay, moving on. It reminds me one of the verses of Quran Pak as well. The very first verse which was given, that was read in the name of thy Lord.
Yeah, Iqra, I believe.
Iqra,
Right?
Bismi
Yeah.
Rabbika allazi khalaq. Read in the name of thy Lord who
Right.
created men from a clot of blood.
Indeed.
Read,
I
thy
know.
Lord is most bounteous, who taught by pen. Why remember that?
See, knowledge, or how to put it? It's so beautiful. It's so romantic.
It is.
if
It
you
is. So the
think
very
about it.
first thing over here, which connects it, so the sir has said read, read, and read. Very good. Once you're done with the reading, now let's move on to the next one. Do not be an unguided missile when you are writing, basically. So you have to be a guided one. So my tip number one, and basically our tip number two, that is plan what you are going to write. And I keep on saying it every now and then. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
No, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good
So
one.
what we have to do is basically we have to plan it and we have to be a guided missile. It would be better that if you are writing and someone is giving the feedback like we give to the students, so that productive skill is easy to taken care of as compared with receptive skill,
Yeah.
because we don't know what's going on psychologically in the person's
True,
mind, right?
true.
So wipe it out, sir.
It's so warm, seriously.
Alright, okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, no problem, sir. So move on to the second tip you have and the third one overall.
All right, so basically, I'll add up to it.
Please
all
do.
right. Planning involves brainstorming.
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
and then there is this particular activity that I always recommend to my students. It's basically, I personally call it the spiderweb diagram. All
The
right.
spider web diagram.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the personal thing. You know, there might be other people who call the same thing or know the same
Differently,
thing
yeah?
with different, you know, a different tagline or whatever, or a different.
Okay.
Yeah, but then the idea is you brainstorm and you put your ideas together before you actually start writing a certain script. It's extremely important because, I mean, although the thing is that there are a lot of details that go into writing a certain script, all right, a passage, all right. If I delve into details briefly, you have the title of the text, all right, you have the thesis statement, all right, you have the introductory paragraph, you have your topic sentences for each paragraph, and then each paragraph has to connect to the next one. All right. At the end of the day, you know, you have your conclusion, and then, you know, a lot of other things. You know,
Okay.
From a structural point of view. So
Okay.
the thing is, you can only take care of these aspects if you brainstorm first. Now imagine, all right, you know, you're in a context, and it happens to most of us. When I was a novice writer,
Okay.
when I was a rich man, right?
When you were a rich man. Okay.
But then again, when I was a novice writer, I used to say, I used to commit the same rookie mistake. All right, I would just jump into the text, and then by the middle of it, or you know, by the time I would reach the center of the text, you know, the juicy part, you know, it would be a bit difficult for me, you know, to hold on to the train of thought. All right, and then I would literally have to, you know, sit there wasting time, precious time, thinking about, oh yeah, okay, what next? What do I write next? So better you actually start thinking, you know, in the beginning. Take your time. One of my teachers actually said, if you have, you know, if you're in a competitive situation, or maybe in an examination hall, or in an academic setting, you know, even if you take like 3/4 of your whole time thinking, it's still worth it.
So my teacher also said that the best thinkers are the best writers.
Exactly. So
True.
think, put your ideas together in a certain sequence, you know, taking care of all the structural and semantic, you know, sequences.
Okay.
All right. And then you just put your ideas down, and trust me, you'd go with the flow. You won't get interrupted.
Okay, allow me to go on with it
Please,
now. Okay,
please.
thank you very much for speaking with us, Sir
Absolutely,
Casper, in
absolutely.
this beautiful
No
weather
problem,
we have
although
over
I'm
here.
dying, you know, but-
Okay. My next point for you, or my next bullet for you, or my next, what do we call it, tip or
Yeah.
technique for you, that would be the unity of idea, basically, and unity of order, as well as unity of the structure. This is also very important, that
Yeah.
you make sure that the idea is unified. One paragraph is supposed to deal with one idea.
Yeah.
And then when you move on, maybe you have a big idea and it could have been small chunks or small packets of the ideas.
Indeed.
So keep giving that in different paragraphs, okay? And make sure that your ideas are delivered completely. Then unended, open-ended ideas, and once you're tired, you said, okay, let's move on to the next paragraph. So have a proper paragraph breakdown
Yeah.
in terms of the unity of idea.
That's
it,
very
it
important.
would help
actually.
you, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Shall I add up to it again?
So please do.
All right. So the usual example that I give in this particular regard is basically a sort of an illusion that I create. All right.
Yeah.
It's between your text and shoelaces.
Okay.
All right. The way you tie your shoelaces, you know, you loop them over and over for like as long as you can, and then eventually you have to tie them up. All right.
Yeah.
Same goes for your passages. Same goes for your paragraphs.
Wow.
You need to make sure that you loop them up good, but then at the end, you know, you need to, you know, tie them up as well.
Alright,
Because if
great.
you don't, you'll end up with loose text, as he mentioned earlier. So
Wow.
please make sure, right?
Wow.
No matter-
I'm with the illusion, basically.
Yeah, connected, right?
Should I call it simile or something?
I think you could.
Okay, you're comparing it.
Yeah, it depends on how you put it together, right?
Okay.
But then again, yeah.
So the paragraph writing or the structure of the paragraph is like shoelace. Wow.
Truly, I mean, you may tie them. In fact, you may loop them as good as you can. All right, but at the end of the day, you have to tie it up because if you don't, it'll come off.
Oh yeah, you're becoming my teacher now. You see. Taught me and you-
Very kind, very kind.
Great. Okay. So you have something else to say?
Oh yes, most definitely. So the next point would be basically, write with a partner. Peer checking. It's extremely important, but make sure that.
Scaffolding.
Oh yeah. So basically, that is a process. But then again, the idea is you need to have someone who is ideally good at, communicating through writing, basically. And if you're able to do that, thank you so
No
much.
problem.
You're a lifesaver,
No,
So
no problem.
if you can do that, ideal. Otherwise, you still can give it to someone who is with you and, get it cross-checked. Because it's always easier for people to. I mean, I think it's human nature. We
It's
always
human nature.
notice mistakes among others. Before we do them.
True. While we are making the video,
Uh-huh.
there could have been some creepy linguists too.
Really?
They could have been noticing our mistakes.
Oh, dear.
And we are basically trying to show that how good or how better writer we are.
Yeah.
And there is someone who comes to the comment section and writes that okay, it was supposed to be dealt like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the weather condition we are into.
Seriously.
Doesn't know that the camera pressure mostly have on the people.
Precisely.
So and it's one go, we don't edit it.
But we never edit the
We
videos,
never.
by the way.
We just
it's
go with you, we
We
just
go
talk
with the
to
flow.
you.
It's very natural. No
Yeah.
scripts, nothing else. So
Nothing.
it's just coming from. I don't know. It's coming intuitively. Maybe
It is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are intuitive people.
Very much.
Okay. The next step, once you are done, basically allow me to add something.
Please do, sir.
As you said that it's going to be a peer learning or kind of
Uh-huh.
scaffolding with someone. So make sure that the one you are aspiring or you are dealing with or you are practicing with shall have +1 knowledge than yours, so that this person would be able to identify even more errors than mistakes.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
that's
a
the big
difference
thing.
between those two as well. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it some other day.
Some other day for sure, but mistakes are basically the one you correct yourself. Errors are which are alien to you. You will read them, reread them again and again. It won't help you. Well, my point was basically go for the proper grammatical range and accuracy. Okay, grammar has less to do in your speaking,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the best to do with your writing.
Exactly. True.
I'm giving some quotations now.
That's a good one. It shall be written with, I don't know, gold or something. They should be embossed, in
Okay.
gold. Oh yeah, right here.
I guess I won this.
I guess you did.
All
Now
right.
you can hang it around your neck.
Okay. All right. Okay. It reminds me of the Birches of Robert Frost.
I remember that.
All right. So make sure that you are writing grammatically correct structures, and if you are not writing it, get it checked by some of the tools. For example, Grammarly can help. Unpaid content to Grammarly, basically.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
such kind of things can help, and I have seen that my male students
Uh-huh.
and my female students, they have a difference in that. The females always try to have 3-4 minutes to just revisit the writing part.
Yeah.
The boys just finish and they give it and they say, "Oh, thank God, it's done."
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Now
Yeah.
let's get to this particular point.
Please
Actually.
do.
So rechecking. In fact, checking your text once you're done with it, it's
Yeah.
extremely important. If you're in an academic setting once again, or heading to Canada,
Alright.
IELTS, etc.,
Okay.
it is vital for you to spare maybe 5 to 10 minutes and go through the text that you've written. Right?
Yes.
And you may come across certain mistakes that you may have committed inadvertently, but fail to realize.
Yeah.
Right.
Try going longitudinally with your writings, okay? For example, you have a 100-page book and you wrote the very first day. Your 100th day is done. You will go back to the first day and you will pointing out many mistakes over there.
Uh-huh.
And that is a learning procedure.
Right.
Because it is a kind of abstract thing, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Learning language is abstract. So
Of course it is.
somehow if you could revisit from where you begin, you will get to know that how much have you learned. It will give you confidence. And with confidence, you're speaking, you're writing, you're listening, and you're reading. Every single module of it improves.
True. Shall we move to the
Have
next?
confidence on you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shall we move to the next step?
Please do. You
All right.
are giving?
Are you or me?
No, you please do it.
All right. Okay. Cool. So the next tip would be to improve your vocabulary, and you can do so by consulting the dictionary sometimes, and
Okay.
maybe going for synonyms or antonyms of certain words that you usually use. Because here's the thing: when you start writing a certain text, it is ideal for you to use multiple words or multiple expressions to deliver the same meaning. All right. Now, synonyms can help you with that. Imagine, if you kept using one word over and over again in a certain paragraph, it loses its charm.
It does.
Exactly, right? And it kind of delivers or gives a certain vibe that you probably don't know much about writing, or you're not aware, or you don't have a good vocabulary back.
All right.
So if you use multiple expressions for the same thing here and there, of course, synonyms are not identical meanings, but then again, there are clever ways to use your words here and there, and I would highly recommend you to use synonyms or antonyms, wherever possible.
True.
Yeah.
And over here, I would like to reconnect it with one of the biggest thing of it, and that could have been the word formation process.
That is for advanced level learners.
It is for sure for that, and our audience, I know that we want to make such videos which help the basic learners as well as to the intermediate learners or to the advanced learners. And if such kind of people have still issues, so we are available at the back side. You see there's a class going on already, so we can help you with that too. Word formation process I was talking about.
Yeah.
So word formation process is basically you go with some prefixes, some suffixes, some infixes, some clippings. What else can you recall?
Understand the root words,
The root
alright,
word.
and how all these things come together to formulate words and phrases and
Wow.
clauses and sentences and
True,
paragraphs
true,
and
true.
passages, etc., etc.
What are the negative prefixes? What are the positive prefixes?
Precisely.
And suffixes as well. For
Indeed.
example, the word is believe. That's the word and you put unbelievable. So un becomes a prefix, able becomes a suffix.
Precisely.
Great. Did I give my thing?
I think you mentioned good things. Yes,
All
definitely.
right. Okay.
One more thing before
Please
we go.
do. Please
Right,
do.
Unless
Please
you
do.
have more. to
No
add.
problem, sir.
All
Please
right,
do that.
Good enough. So I actually forgot what I was going to talk about.
Well, I'm very sorry about it. Let
That's
me
all right.
take care of it.
In fact, no.
Oh, you-
I just remembered.
It
I'm
happens.
sorry.
It happens. Yeah.
So yeah, whenever it comes to your productive skills, be it writing or speaking, to achieve good fluency and to achieve a certain mark, maybe
Yeah.
I would suggest you use your qualifiers you put your qualifiers to good use. What are your qualifiers?
Yeah.
Your adjectives and
Keep going.
adverbs,
Yeah.
basically. All right.
I would also call them modifiers.
Precisely.
Okay.
Modifiers, qualifiers.
Qualifiers, modifiers, it can be pre-modifiers or pre-qualifiers, it can be post-qualifiers or post-modifiers as well.
Indeed.
The adjectives basically, yeah. And go for some uncommon adjective, then going for something good, bad, better. Go for such kind of high vocabulary and high or uncommon adjective, for example, scrumptious, delicious,
Etc., etc.
mouth-watering.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you giving some food today?
For what food?
Some food for thought perhaps, or some food to eat?
I just did.
Alright, did
Just
you?
did. I don't know.
Okay, I guess food for thought, and after that we require some food to eat.
It's
too.
too hot to eat.
Is
man.
that
Yeah, seriously,
okay?
I don't know.
How about some brownies or not the brownies, the smoothies?
That's better. That's a good idea. That's a good
Alright,
idea.
okay.
Trust
Get relaxed while you're writing it.
me. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
and if you are in such kind of condition, your performance won't be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure that you're relaxed, chilling, not going onto the beach for sure, but you are kind of relaxed wherever you're writing. With the relaxed mind, you will get good ideas. With good ideas, you will connect them very well. And do you remember that Sapir-Whorf hypothesis?
Oh yes, I do. I do.
Okay,
I do.
okay. So it's a very long debate that, and this is a question for all of you too. Do you think the language shapes our thought, or the thoughts shape our language?
Right.
And this question, your host, Mr. Casper, and me, the one is unknown to you. We are saying bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You enjoy the evening and pray for us. It's terrible.
Keep praying for us till we go to Canada. God bless Pakistan.
And Canada.